music fans. Welcome to Bands and Beers with Brennen. I'm your host, Brennen. The band today is The Tea Party, a great Canadian rock band. The beer is Tiski from Poland. And today my guest is Nick. We played in a band back in high school called Lanky. And it's great to get to chat with you again today, Nick. How are you doing?
Hey, Brandon, I'm great, man. It's been up until a few minutes ago. It's been years. You
Yeah.
came out to see me with the punk band I was in, the Scowl, and it was great to see you then. I'm drinking. Funny, I live on Vancouver Island, where there's so many draft beers everywhere. There's hundreds, or not draft. Sorry, like special beers. What do you call them?
Craft beers.
Yes, craft beers. Lots of those. But I decided to go for a Lowenbrau.
Oh yeah. I like Lowenbrau.
Which is the Belgian beer, and it's brewed by the Gordon of the Bavarian law of 1515 or something. So I trust an old beer.
Yeah. There is some good beer out there in BC. I like the Granville Island Brewery in particular. That one's pretty good.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Oh, and are you working on any musical projects lately?
Well, because of that thing that stops everybody, no band, but doing 100 cover projects, doing some replicas and some just of my own. So I have that under my name, Nick Beesonet, on YouTube. I'm currently on cover 15, so 15% of the way done.
Nice.
And
That'll be an awesome
was
achievement. 100
first
covers.
cover, unsurprisingly, Psychopomp from the Tea Party.
Sweet. Yeah, and thank you for introducing me to this band way back when we were in high school, I think. Actually, I think I might have heard the song Writings on the Wall before you told me about them. Just like, it was like a hit. Probably heard it on the radio or on like a big Shiny Tunes or something CD. But then you kind of got me into more of their, like listening to their full albums, which is awesome. How did you discover them?
In the 90s, much music.
Much music?
Because I remember in 97 their Heaven's Coming Down video came out, and as a kid I was like, I think I'm feeling emotions of like big things, and like this is a crazy different song. I was like, it's not just a dancey pop tune. And then I was playing Prince of Persia when I was 13 Sands of Time, and when I beat the game, I read the name Stuart Chatwood, and I had just bought this Tangent album that they did, which was a collection, and I read the name Stuart Chatwood, and then I kind of really liked the sound, and so I just kept going with it. I went to this secondhand store in the school called the Rad Zone, and then the guy Len, I kept getting him to order me CDs to do the collection. So, and I have it all now. I have all their music in compact disc.
Sweet. Oh, I saw you had
some on vinyl and
vinyl
one
too.
on cassette.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any physical copies, unfortunately, but I'll have to get some at some point. That'd be cool. I started buying more CDs during the pandemic when I started working from home. I was like, hey, I have a bunch of CDs. I can actually listen to them out loud. And when I work in an office, I'm not gonna like bring a CD Walkman there. Just kind of listen. I have Spotify. I'll listen to that. But at home, I can kind of listen to vinyl and CDs. So I can start buying some of that.
Nice. Yeah, vinyl you can't beat it. It's a nice, perfect organic wave sound wave.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna rank the Tea Party's albums. There are 8 studio albums and 2 EPs from our least favorite to our most favorite. And we're kind of going to go back and forth here. So I want to start with you. Which one is your least?
We should clarify that we're not including Tangents, and we're not including their self-titled debut EP, Tea Party. You ever heard that one?
Their self-titled, is it the 1991? Because isn't that like a full-length album? I am including that one, actually. I did include that.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. I, believe it or not, just listened to it for the first time ever recently because I could never find a legal copy of it, and I didn't want to screw them over. So by downloading it, so I found an
Right.
actual copy.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Okay, well
I
I'll add it
included.
in there. I'll add it in there.
Sure, I included that one, but yeah, I didn't include the Tangents compilation.
Yeah,
So
that
it's
makes
just
sense.
eight. Yeah, there are 8 studio albums. So the Tea Party, Splendor Solace,
Yeah,
Edges of the Twilight, Transmission, Triptych, Interzone, Mantras, Seven Circles in the Ocean at the end. And then there are 2 EPs, Alhambra and Black River. Are the two that I
yeah,
included.
that sounds right.
Sweet. All right. You want to start us off? And I should also say, probably before we start, that none of these releases are bad. So we're kind of we're ranking a lot of really good albums here. We're forcing ourselves to put them in our order of preference, even though they're all great. I'd listen to any of these gladly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, same here for sure. I nothing personal, boys. It's just a matter of taste and such.
Yeah.
Okay, so I go first.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I don't know if this will surprise you or not, but and I don't hate it. For me, the first one is gonna have to be Seven Circles. Is my least favorite.
Hmm.
I have 2 copies of it. I have the Canadian Special Tour Edition or whatever. The
Yeah.
only difference is the cover, I think.
Cool.
But it looks real cool. It was for me. It's the least Tea Party like album.
Yeah, I could hear that maybe.
I think a major reason for that and is because they tried to break in more into the American mainstream,
Oh yeah.
writing songs like "Writings on the Wall" and
Yeah.
"Overload" and stuff like that. And they're good, but they're totally different. The
Different
other big
sound.
thing is Bob Rock is the producer on this album, and everything else they've done, Jeff Martin is the only producer,
Okay.
or for the most part.
Didn't know
So
that.
yeah, this one was a big collaboration, trying to break into.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I could hear with the writings on the wall, especially. It's kind of more like that riffy, almost like arena rock, like a lot more kind of suited for radio and international success. I could totally hear
yeah,
that.
it's catchy.
It is very
Catchy.
catchy.
And my 2 favorite ones off of that are "Empty Glass." That's a big, that's a huge shout out to David Bowie. I don't know. You should give it a listen again, but
Yeah.
it's all about Bowie, and I think it's talking about just kind of rock and roll dying out.
Oh,
Maybe
cool.
more big pop stars, or not pop stars, but icons like that. My other favorite one off that album is "Wishing You Would Stay," because I think uh, there's a female vocalist in there. Well, I don't think there is a female vocalist in there, and that's super rare. That was like the only song up until uh, I think Black River that you actually heard someone else's voice.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even remember that. Yeah, that's cool. Neat.
So that's my input about that one. Least favorite.
Sweet. Yeah, still pretty good, but I could understand why you picked that one. For me, the one that I put at the bottom as my least favorite was Alhambra, the EP. I still really like it, but I kind of had to put it at the bottom because it's just like an acoustic EP that, um, just acoustic versions of their songs from the Edges of Twilight.
Yeah,
So it's not like, since it's not original material, that's kind of probably the reason why I put it at the bottom. But I do really find it cool. Like there's a cool Middle Eastern vibe in the first few songs, and then for the fourth song, it switches over to more of like a country western or like southern rock slide guitar vibe.
yeah,
Turn the lamp down low.
yeah,
Um, and also, I find like they're really influenced. They sound like they're really influenced by Led Zeppelin. Like it's got a bit of a Led Zeppelin vibe. And I know on the Black River EP they also covered a Led Zeppelin song. So
right.
I think their influences are probably like Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, the Beatles, and then like some of that kind of Indian, Middle Eastern world North African music, and maybe a little bit of prog too. Like I can sometimes hear maybe some Yes and Rush vibes.
That's
Um,
funny you mentioned that. And you're talking about Alhambra still?
well, no, I'm kind of just talking about them in general.
Oh
On
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Alhambra, it's more acoustic and more the Middle Eastern vibe and a bit of
yeah,
Led Zeppelin. I
yeah.
don't think there's as much prog sound on
No, no.
Alhambra.
I know the one you're talking about, and yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But my favorite song on Alhambra was Inanna, the
Oh
acoustic
yeah.
version of that song. And it's a nice Middle Eastern sounding
Boom,
intro.
boom,
Kind of
boom, boom.
alternates between it alternates between a Middle Eastern vibe and then maybe more of like a Celtic vibe almost.
Yeah.
And then my second favorite would be the Grand Bazaar, which is another
Sweet.
cool Middle Eastern sounding intro. They do a lot of that and they're really good at it.
Nice. That's funny. We picked totally different songs on that one.
Cool.
You'll see when we hit Alhambra for me. Yeah.
Nice. All right. How about your second least favorite?
The runner-up. Um, this might. I don't know if it's because I haven't listened to it as much, but I'm throwing Black River in, their newest.
Yeah.
Or is that their newest? Yeah, their newest.
Yeah, that's their newest. Yeah.
Well, I like that it's rock and roll. Maybe it's because it's an EP that I gave it less.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds good, and I guess maybe because I'm a longtime fan, I'm just like, yeah, it's the Tea Party. I listen to it, I'm like, sounds like them for sure. Definitely,
Yeah.
that's the Tea
It
Party.
didn't have as much the Middle Eastern vibe, eh? I think that I don't
No,
recall there being much of that. It sounds
their
more old school, like Led Zeppelin,
their
almost.
big slogan was something like just no politics, just rock and roll. That's pretty much what they were saying. But I was gonna say that they're kind of smart by how there was a time where I was really into the lyrics, and then I grew up a little more, and I was like, "Oh, this is too dark for me," you know. Which is funny. I grew out of the darkness, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then AC/DC just released a new album, and they're still singing about, hooking up with the girls at the bottom, stuff
And
like
how
that.
old
But
are
now
those
they're,
guys? Like they're in their 70s.
yeah, exactly. But the Tea Party, they can keep putting out music no matter how old they are, and because their lyrics are so meaningful and usually are more thoughtful and like philosophical, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like they can keep doing it, and it won't feel weird. So I did like that Black River felt like the Tea Party, and it didn't feel like, oh, they're too old for that, because it didn't.
Yeah.
There is none of that there.
There's a lot of old school bands still going, like Deep Purple and AC/DC that are still releasing music like that kind of sounds like they're trying to be in their heyday. Some of
Yeah,
it's still good, like they're good at what they do, but it is a little weird sometimes.
yeah. My best track off that one is Blood Moon Rising. I love that track. It's very Pink Floyd. It's got a sick chord progression, um, and it's got a cool like old rock and roll feel to it.
Cool.
Like I almost felt like I was listening to something from the '70s.
Yeah, it felt very 70s to me, this whole album. I think that one, like, to me, out of all of theirs, sounds the most like the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I bet you if we re-rank this after I listen to all of it, I'd probably change it. But for now, I'll
Yeah,
keep it there because it's
yeah, this stuff could
less
change.
known to me.
Could definitely change from day to day, and like tastes change a little bit too. All right.
That's it for me. What's your second
My
bottom?
second bottom is Ocean at the End from 2014. I guess that's their newest full length because Black River is just an EP. It's still a strong album. They don't really have any bad ones, as I said, but I just didn't find it as memorable for me as some of their older albums, so that's why it's here. My favorite song though would be the title track, "The Ocean at the End."
Yeah.
And that was very like chill, a very chill and soothing song. I really love the guitar solo in there. It had lots of emotion. I think it's Jeff Martin, right? He's the guitar player. He's pretty
Yep.
underrated. There's lots of really cool guitar stuff, great solos, cool emotion, cool riffs. I don't think people talk about him as like, uh, I never see him on any like great guitarist list, but he is pretty
No, it's
great.
weird because he does shred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my second favorite song on here would be Black Roses.
Oh yeah.
I think that one uses like an open tuning. I think maybe a lot of their songs use open tuning. I don't know if all
Yeah,
of them.
dude. Jeff Martin has so many weird freaking tunings. That's why I don't play most of their songs because
Yeah.
I'm just too lazy, man. That's a
Yeah,
lot of work.
I remember covering it in this time when they were having that cover contest, and I believe it was in an open tuning too. So I did, I think I messed up the tuning of my guitar to cover that, and it was good. Um, but yeah, I usually don't play too many of their songs. I know we played Psychopomp in our band, which I believe that one's in standard tuning, so that was
Yeah, like
easier.
it's the only one.
Oh yeah, is that like their only standard tuning song, or
It's
what?
probably not, but I feel like it is, honestly, which is why most people play that one or
Yeah,
cover it.
cool. It's pretty good. All right, how about your third least favorite?
I'm jumping in into Alhambra,
Okay.
and here it is. Yeah, it's signed. They're all signed. I don't know if I said that yet, but
Did
I'll
you
tell you
get
a
them
story
all
about that
signed
later.
all at the same time, like on at a recent concert, and you brought them all in, or were they all kind of signed on different days?
Uh, Jeff Martin signed them all when I saw him in Victoria, um, and then the rest of the band signed them in Vancouver. But I have to tell you a story about that after.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, so Alhambra. Yeah, like you said, it's totally Edges of Twilight with acoustic.
Yeah.
I think they were having a bit of a rough time. I don't know if it was writer's block or what it was, but there was also some stuff going on with grants and government stuff.
Oh
So
yeah.
anyway, we've already kind of went through this one. This one's all right. I mean, nothing wrong with it. Turn the Lamp Down Low is probably my favorite one on this one
Mhm.
because it's super bluesy, and I love slide guitar. I'll just do it. He does it really well, and the yelling at the end is great.
Yeah, I love the sound of it. I could never play slide guitar very well. It's one of those styles of guitar that I like tried. I have a slide, and every now and then I'll bust it out. It's just like a style of guitar playing that I am not practiced at.
That's my specialty right
Oh
now.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, I can't shred and do good solos, but give me a slide and
Oh neat.
I'll make it sound pretty cool. And then the other song was "Time" by Roy Harper. Not by him, but he's the one singing.
Right.
And again, I like that one because it's not Jeff Martin singing, and not because Jeff Martin's not singing, but because somebody else is. I think that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it adds some variety to the sound. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's super trippy. And I remember this was when I first started to consume marijuana and such, so it's very fitting.
It brought you on journeys.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
That's my next one. Yep.
All right. So I think I'm on my third. Third least favorite is going to be Seven Circles from 2004. I think our bottom end is probably going to look pretty similar, I think, here. But yeah, this is their second newest full-length album. It contains the first song of theirs that I heard, Writings on the Wall. And that's a solid hard rocking song, but it is not really an indicator of their sound. And I never really when I heard that song, I didn't really have the desire to go and check out more of their stuff. So I didn't really check them out further until you recommended them to me, Nick. But then when I listen to more of their stuff, even on this album, there's some pretty awesome other stuff too. My favorite song on here would be the title track, Seven Circles.
Yeah.
Another one with powerful emotion and another great guitar solo. I think this might be my favorite Tea Party guitar solo on Seven Circles. It's really good. And then my second favorite song on Seven Circles is Coming Back Again, which has like a very primal feel to it. Like,
yeah, it's almost metal, almost.
yeah, they have a couple moments on some of their albums that almost sound metal. They're not quite a metal band, they're just more of a hard rock band, but they do have like a couple songs that are almost there on that boundary. And they have some cool like primal vibes to some of their songs where they have like bongos and stuff like that going on, and it just like sounds like a friggin' chant of like an ancient tribe. I don't remember if it's that song but I've got some of those vibes written down in my notes here from some of their albums, and it's pretty cool. Like all the different types of sounds they have in their tool belt.
On the topic of guitar solos, it's funny you mentioned in their albums, I think they only have one on this one, none on there. They have a guitar solo in Winter Solstice and Dreams of Reason. They've got a guitar solo or two in Edges. Not really any, and they maybe have 5 or 6 songs with the solos in them.
That's true, yeah, they don't have too many.
Which is crazy for the fact that you really can shred.
Yeah, and he does solo. He's kind of reserved, I guess, in his playing, and maybe that's why he's not on any of these great guitarist lists, because he mostly he's more of a songwriter than a shredder, but like he has that ability there, and every now and then he busts it out and plays a crazy solo.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, how about your fourth? We're on your fourth least favorite now, I think.
Yep. Fourth now, and you're right, all our bottoms are pretty much the same. Ocean at the end of what the heck am I? Yeah, Ocean at the end.
Cool.
Not because it's not good, I guess. Why, again, it's because it's the one I heard the least.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really happy to see them coming back finally.
Yeah, they took a really big break between.
Well, I forgot to mention that. So for Seven Circles, this was my least favorite because this is when they broke up.
Right.
In 2005, and that's actually the year I got into them. And I saw that they had shows booked in the Maritimes with Finger 11.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw that it got canceled. Then I heard the news that they broke up just as I really got into them.
Yeah, that sucks. Like when a band kind of becomes like one of your favorite bands and then they cease to exist very shortly thereafter. But at least they came back.
Yeah, and I kind of have a story about that too. But anyway, we'll get there as well. So Ocean at the End of the Lane. I did like I like that they tried making every song a little different. Mm-hmm. Like Black River, every song kind of felt it had similar guitar effects. It all had similar everything, and that's cool. Like
it had a more consistent and unified vibe,
which is totally great. And I found Ocean at the End of the Lane, they tried to do different things. Like the first song, the LOC. I'm not sure what that is. But that song's dope, man. It's like a James Bond song.
Yeah.
Like I could hear that at the beginning of a Bond film. And it reminded me of Rush, and like you asked me some parts where the drums are doing a little more intricate things that Jeff Burrows would usually not do. Like they weren't afraid to be a little different. Mm-hmm. I found. And then Ocean at the End is obviously the other big hitter in that album. To me, it was super Pink Floyd. I love the slow jams, and Tea Party has had some slower music, but not quite like there, and a lot of synth work, and yeah. And then at the end of the song, you can hear the ocean. You ever notice?
Sweet. I didn't really particularly notice that. I probably noticed it, but I didn't like take note of it.
And then I was like, oh no shit, the ocean at the end. There you
Yeah,
go.
ocean at the end of the song of the ocean at the end. Cool.
At the end of the album. Yeah.
So yeah, that song's the album closer. Let's see. I got the track list here. Yeah, or no wait, there is a song after it, right? Is there?
Is it?
Into the Unknown? Is that the
Oh.
with the ocean at the end? Let's see. Yeah, it's a hidden track.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, see, I haven't listened to that album enough.
Yeah, they do some tricky hidden track stuff. I see it here in my iTunes, so that it's like its own track. But if I look on Wikipedia, it says hidden track beside it. Cool. All right, well, our bottom four were exactly the same, just in a different order. So for my fourth least favorite, I'm going to go with the Black River EP, their newest release.
Yeah.
It's more of that bluesy hard rock sound. Like it has more of that 70s bluesy hard rock vibe more than any of their other work. It reminds me of Led Zeppelin, and I imagine Led Zeppelin's a big influence on the band. They put a Led Zeppelin cover on this. I think that it was Out on the Tiles, I believe, is a Led Zeppelin song. But yeah, this is a really strong EP. My favorite on there is Shelter, and it's actually the chill song on the EP. Like most of the songs there are kind of hard rocking songs, but this one's more chill, starts out soft. It ends heavy. I think it's more of a build up. And I like when the Tea Party does some of those build ups. They have a few songs that are like that where they start off really soft and then build up. Even like Psychopomp is kind of like that. They're good at doing that. And the second favorite song on that one for me is Way Way Down. I think the opening riff is pretty catchy. It's got like a southern vibe to it. They really don't have the Middle Eastern vibe on this album at all, or the prog or anything like that. It's just like bluesy hard rock 70s style stuff. It's pretty cool. It is what it is. It's less variety.
That's totally what they're going for too.
Yeah, they accomplished what they were trying to do. I like it, but I like some of their more like adventurous journeys.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So we're on your fifth least favorite. Which one is that?
This is when it gets really tough because these ones are they're kind of all equal to me, but for different reasons. But I'll still attempt to rank them. And I think there's 6, isn't there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
There's
there's
6 left.
To go.
Yeah, there's 6 to go. So, this is your 6th favorite or 5th least favorite.
Again, this is hard because they're all equal. But okay, I'll just go ahead. Some people might spit in my face if they ever saw me after I said this. But next one, I'm going with.
What is that? I don't know the album covers very well.
Oh, sorry, Greg. Splendor Solace. Their first major release. I have it on cassette and CD signed. Greg, I mean it was their first one released in '93. Hugely acoustic. This might have been on my top, except things change once I've heard the actual original self-titled debut thing in '91. But anyway, this one's great, man. It really set them apart from anybody else with big songs like The River and Save Me, and like him playing the bow on his guitar and shit. And I knew that's the stuff that like Jimmy Page would do.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I've seen a few people do that, but it's not super common.
But just his deep voice and the sick drums. Jeff Burr was awesome, and you got a left-handed bassist in there that can't hurt. Stuart Chatwood.
Oh yeah, cool.
Uh, yeah, I mean, what's funny is this one has the song that I like the least from the Tea Party.
Oh yeah, which one is that?
I think it's the only song I actually don't like from the Tea Party. Raven Skies.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I'll
I
go
don't
right
really,
ahead and say that's the only one I don't like that they ever wrote.
I don't really remember that song. So like, yeah, it probably didn't like. I don't think any of their songs like actively offended me or anything, or like were actively bad or anything. But it just didn't like register as a great song or anything.
Yeah, maybe that's what I mean.
Yeah.
But on this guy, for my favorites, I've got Dreams of Reason. That's just a great song. It is like the lament of a man who wants to change, but thinks he might not be able to, but really wants to. And that song's always been a big one for me. Beautiful song. Sounds like there's like cello, maybe the actual guitar is being bowed on some lower end notes. I'm not sure.
Hmm.
And then it has a really like hopeful, kind of happy resolve at the end. Then my next favorite, probably Winter Solstice. There's no singing on it, but my dad really liked that one, and he said it reminds him of me. So that's the reason why I like that one.
Neat. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. I'm
And
surprised though that you rank Splendor Solace below the Tea Party from 1991. That's
yeah, because they have a lot of the same songs,
They
right?
do, yeah. They have some overlap, and I thought like the production on Splendor Solace is, in my opinion, better than
Oh, big
the
time, yeah.
original. But I could see like some of the spirit in their self-titled debut is really cool as well.
Yeah. I don't want to spiel too much on that self-title right yet, but yes, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I guess we could talk about that, the self-titled, because that's my fifth least favorite would be the Tea Party from 1991, their
Yeah,
first album. And like I was just saying, it's the reason why it's here is just their weakest in terms of production quality. But I do really like the songwriting on it. I think there's some rockers on here. Um, and some of these songs, like a lot of the best songs on here, got repeated on Splendor Solace.
yeah, and some got left out. Someone like uh, there are some songs on there that I never thought Tea Party would do a song like that. Like
Yeah,
some of the way more like not party rock, but it has more of a fun kind of feel compared to what they've done.
yeah, there might be some like happier sounding songs. They did go pretty dark for a while, and almost had like all their songs having a dark sound. They often had like a little bit of hopefulness in all their other albums. But my favorite song on the Tea Party, I guess, is "Save Me." It's the long version. Like "Save Me" is also done on Splendor Solace, but the original one is longer. It's like 8 minutes and 22 seconds or something.
Hmm.
Um, I think actually the Splendor Solace version of Save Me might be a little better. It is shorter. I think it's like 6:34. But I still love the long version of it as well. It's cool to have like two versions of the song and you can kind of vibe to either one, and they're both good in their own way. And
Yeah,
then another one is my second favorite is Midsummer Day, which is also on Splendor Solace. It's another beautiful open tuning sounding song. Like you were saying, a lot of their songs might be open tuning, but I really notice it when they like let it ring out and they like vamp on it, and like in some of the songs you can really tell that it's open tuning, and in others it's a bit harder to tell. But this one is another one that like it starts out soft, it becomes heavy in the middle of the song, and then it goes back to being soft at the end. So it's got some like build up, some crescendo and decrescendo in there. It's pretty cool.
yeah, yeah. We have totally different picks on that one, but yeah, we'll get there when we get there for sure.
Sweet. All right. How about, I guess we're in our top five now. What's your number five favorite?
Oh my goodness. I suppose it will have to be. Yeah, well, it just keeps changing as I go. But it would have to be the one you just picked.
Yeah, Tea Party.
Uh, I prefer I prefer their debut over uh, Splendor Solace,
Interesting. Yeah, I'm surprised about that.
and
But everybody
I
has a
am
taste.
too. I am too because I know the quality is not nearly half as good. But I think that's kind of what I like about it. It's
Yeah,
like
sometimes the
literally,
raw stuff can be cool. Like hearing
I'm.
the.
It feels like I'm listening to a bunch of young 20-year-olds
Mhm.
having a fucking awesome time. Is what I feel like I'm listening to when I hear that. And all my favorite ones are literally ones I'd never heard before. Like Let Me Show You the Door, Little Miss Heaven, Watching the Rain Blow In, Fallen Angel, Good Man Rag,
Cool.
Baby What You Trying to Do. Like it's
So
I've
you went
heard,
back and discovered this like more recently after you heard all their other stuff, right?
yeah, and I knew the album existed. I just never had a way to listen to it.
Right.
So now that I did, I'm pretty blown away, and it's really cool to hear these young dudes back when they were young, and lots of shredding in that, lots of solos. It was really, I'm surprised they didn't put some of those songs on Splendor Solace, but maybe they did it for a reason.
Yeah, I wonder how they decided which ones they would redo. I'm guessing it was probably the ones that they liked to play live the most. Probably the ones that went over best live. I'm just guessing at how they would have chosen
Yeah,
ones to
I
carry.
feel I feel they might have picked the more abstract ones because no one had done music like that, really. Whereas some of the more fun songs they have on that are really bluesy,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying they're not original, but fast, fun blues rock has been a thing for a while. Whereas a song like "Save Me," not so much.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe they picked the ones that are most unique and they were trying to craft like a sound and have an identity.
yeah, yeah, totally.
Cool. All
Yeah,
right. My number 5 would be Triptych from 1999.
yeah, it's a
And
good
it's
one.
a nice hard rocking album. This has a variety of influences. I think I hear some prog on here, and I'm a big prog fan. Like most of the music I'm listening to these days is like progressive metal, prog rock, that kind of stuff. There's some influence of that here. There's also like some of the alternative, like I feel like they have a bit of that like alternative and grungy '90s influence rubbing off on them. They were never really a grunge band, but like that scene probably influenced them a little bit. And even like some industrial rock in here, and also the Middle Eastern music. It kind of all gets like blended together, and it's really cool. You don't see too many bands that have that combination of sounds all smushed together in an album. So I do really like it. My
Yeah,
favorite.
it's the successor of because that's their fourth or
Yeah,
fifth
is that their
technically,
yeah
and
fifth if you count?
you're right, they're kind of mixing what they've done together, but everything they've done, and just
Yeah.
kind of boosted it with a nice, clean new sound. Because this is when they really changed again.
Hmm.
Because they changed from acoustic to Middle Eastern to full industrial to triptych,
Hmm.
which was a lot lighter than their last album.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite song would be "Taking Me Away."
Oh yeah, mine too.
Synthy, synthy techno intro, followed by that like somber but memorable piano line. I think I remember hearing you play that on the piano back when we were in high school too.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's the one.
I
And
play
it's
that
got
one
like
all the time.
got really catchy vocal melodies, has awesome like strings in the background and everything. It's just very epic sounding song.
Yeah, the bass really deep, and then the drums are also really cool. It's just like snare work, and yeah, yeah, the whole song is really different.
And then yeah, my second favorite is I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the Halcyon Days.
The Halcyon Day?
The Halcyon? Is it Halcyon or Halcyon? I don't know how to say that. Um, but I like it. I'm not sure what instruments at the beginning. I think it's like it's got that Middle Eastern vibe. I think it might be an oud, like a OUD, that instrument at the beginning.
Yeah,
There's also a really killer guitar riff in the song, awesome drums and
super
percussion.
catchy. Yeah, really catchy. Feels like you're wrestling a bull or something with the
Yeah,
beat and the bass, like the do 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 do. That's cool.
yeah. I'll put that song as the background music right now, so it lines up with your vocal noise. Pretty cool.
Yeah, cool intro. Sounds like you're in a market or a bazaar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really awesome. All right, top four now. That's number four for
top
me.
four. Yeah, okay. These ones are all equal to me, so it don't matter. I'm gonna throw in Edges of Twilight. It's a hard one because this is probably their biggest. I
Yeah,
feel like this is their most successful album. Uh, what can I say about this? Yeah, this one got them on the map. The Bazaar was huge. Fire in the Head is a big song. Sister Awake is a massive song. Uh, that really put them on the map
yeah.
as
I'm
far as
looking here.
establishing.
According to Wikipedia, this is their highest selling. But they
Yeah.
have four double platinum albums, and this is one of them. Um,
Wow, double platinum.
double platinum in Canada. I think the Canadian standard for platinum is lower than the U.S. standard. So Wikipedia is saying it's sold like 270,000 copies. I'm guessing platinum in Canada means selling 100,000, whereas I think in the U.S. it means more.
Huh. Wow. That's a lot, but that's not a lot. I'm not sure how to feel about that.
It is it is a lot. Um, they kind of started when like they started out back when people still bought albums, but then they kind of like evolved into the like you know pirating and like torrenting and streaming age.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
they're not going to be able to move that many copies anymore. Nobody buys physical stuff. Like the masses don't. Everybody's on Spotify, so it's kind of a new world for music now.
Yeah. I have a note about this. The Edges of Twilight was the name of a chapter in a book called Fire in the Head. And
Oh
there
yeah.
was a book. There was a book he was reading at the time.
Oh, okay. Cool. And there's this
And
song called "Fire in the Head," right? On
yeah,
Edges of Twilight.
yeah. So this album is fairly hugely influenced on that, and it's all about shamans and Celtic and yeah,
Cool.
um,
That makes sense. The Badger, the instrumental song there, sounds very like Celtic.
yeah,
The vibe of it is pretty damn cool too. And that's
yeah,
probably like the best if you want to hear like shredding or like impressive guitar work. That's probably one on
yeah,
there that
definitely,
would be like showing off Jeff Martin's skills.
absolutely. I heard him mention the book in an interview because when I was a teenager, I was nearly obsessed. So I have DVDs with all their music videos and audio
Nice.
commentary. So I got to learn a lot, and I got the book. I tried to read it. I read it as a 16-year-old,
Hmm.
reading about like these like
Shaman.
resuscitation practices and shit. And my parents are like, "What the hell are you reading?"
Was it about like meditation and stuff and like breathing?
Also, it had a bit of history. It had a bit of how to do certain things. Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, that's interesting.
so my favorite ones off this one are "Walk with Me." I love that tune. It's got a hidden track in it right at the end.
Oh yeah.
Um, with something, but that one's dope. It's got the backwards piano. It's got crazy trippy guitars. It's got a lot of different sections. I feel like, from what I remember, I feel like it almost felt like insanity at some parts, more than singing. Like it felt more like an emotion than a song. And then my second favorite one off that one, uh, I'll probably give it to Shadows on the Mountainside because they wrote that while they were on tour. crossing into British Columbia, so doing the mountain pass for the first time.
Neat.
And I guess that hits close home to me because that's where I live now. And I remember hearing this, thinking about moving out here and seeing that. So yeah, beautiful song.
Awesome.
Mandolin in it.
Cool. Yeah, they use a lot of instruments throughout their catalog. That's another thing that,
Especially in the first couple of ones, yeah.
yeah, that makes them quite different from a lot of other rock bands around the time when they experimented with all these different instruments from around the world. I know mandolin's not really like that foreign, but they had the oud that I mentioned and a bunch of other weird things.
Oh yeah, they used a hurdy-gurdy and
Oh
I
yeah,
think the
hurdy-gurdy.
guitars and like,
Yeah.
I don't even know. The Alhambra, sorry to bring this back, but the Alhambra CD that I have actually has something in it for you to throw when you throw it in the computer back in like Windows 2000 or Windows Millennium or whatever.
Yeah.
It would have this digital footage. No, there it is. It says
Of them
enhanced CD right on there.
of them recording.
Yeah, there was like videos in the album,
Mm.
and then it had like an old Java thing where you can click and see all the instruments they were using, and there was like a behind the scenes thing. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, they did a lot of cool stuff back in the album days. They had some cool content, right? It's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, I guess we're on my number 4, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the Interzone Mantras, 2001. It's another nice rockin' album with a variety of styles. Probably not as diverse as Triptych, but I think the standout tracks on Interzone Mantras are just slightly better for me than the Triptych ones, so that's why I put it above Triptych.
Yeah.
My favorite song on here is Lullaby. It starts out with that creepy, like out of tune music box, and then this evil, like dissonant riff, and that riff, like just with like a semitone ringing, like that kind of reminds me of like some of the metal stuff, like dirty
Yeah.
sounding things that I was listening to as well at the time. Um, yeah, it's pretty awesome. And then the other song on there, my second favorite, is Requiem, and that starts out with a choir, has some nice piano, acoustic guitar. Pretty sad sounding song, but amazing vocal melodies in there.
Hmm. Yeah. I've seen him play that one live, solo, quite a lot. It's way more engaging than the original with all the strings and stuff. Yeah, this is an epic song with the big symphony and
Yeah,
really cool song. This reminds me of vacuuming. Actually, most of the Tea Party reminds me of mowing the lawn or vacuuming the house.
because you listened to it while you're doing that kind of stuff.
When I was a teenager, yeah. Yep.
Sweet. All right, top 3.
So that was it. That was it. Interzone Mattress. That was the one. Your fourth.
Yeah, that was my number 4. I think we're
Now in the 3, I think you and I have a pretty much the same list except with a few switched over.
Yeah.
Okay, well, number 3 for me. I guess the Interzone Man. Yeah, the Interzone Man. I was about to say Triptych, but Triptych holds a special place in my heart. So yeah, the Interzone. It is. We just talked about it. I really like how polished they really got their sound on this one. There's some really cool stuff going on. My favorite song is Apathy, and it's super dark. Like the lyrics are pretty messed up, talking about how he's a tortured soul crawling around on barbed wire and he can't feel anymore. And it's not stuff you listen to when you.
Yeah, not happy stuff.
Yeah, but they have really dope sound, and the quality of every instrument is super crisp and really fat. So that's one of my favorite ones off of there. Requiem I'd put down as my second favorite, but I think this is one of my top three because I like every song that's on here. Interzone is awesome. It's got trumpets in it. It's got a brass section.
Yeah.
Angels is kind of like Coldplay but better. Master and the Margarita has that's probably my second favorite on here. It's a weird kind of song, but once you get into it, it has layers. It's really good. Soul breaking, great. Lullaby, great. Must is reminds me of the Prince of Persia music. Um, and then the last one is a doozy of a song because they changed time signature key like 2 or 3 times, and it's got a lot of cool parts. Yeah,
Yeah, that's that prog influence coming in. One of the
it's,
signature
it's
prog things is changing time signatures.
yeah. This one feels like the sequel to Edges of Twilight.
Cool. Yeah.
Interdome? Yeah, yeah. What about you? Number three.
Number three, I'm gonna go with Splendor Solace. Their second full length, the one after their self-titled one. Another hard rocking album, has some beautiful soft songs too, lots of variety. This is where they pretty much define their sound, I guess. Like their first album, their self-titled album, didn't really have that defining Tea Party sound yet, in my opinion. But this one, it has pretty much all their sounds except the industrial rock influence isn't there yet. That comes a little later.
With good reason too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you have a story about that about why.
Well, I just kind of happen to know just from listening to their interviews on the DVD I had.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, they didn't quite. I don't think they quite had the industrial influence there yet.
No,
But everything else, like they had, Middle Eastern stuff and like the bluesy stuff, and even a bit of like the proggy stuff is all kind of there. Um, but the industrial vibe, I think, comes in on 1997's Transmission. But my favorite song on Splendor Solace is The River. Love the guitars.
classic. Yeah,
Love the wah effect.
yeah.
The guitars at the beginning, and they have like a quiet lead playing in the background. I don't usually like wah guitar actually. It kind of reminds me of like all the Kirk Hammett Metallica solos usually I hear wah,
Yeah.
and I don't. And like I find it kind of almost annoying and overused in those Metallica solos, but I like it here. It's used well in this one. Um, and I guess this song's probably about drugs. Honestly, when I look at the lyrics, it's like the river running through my veins. I'm sure it's about drugs, um, but yeah, I still like it. It just sounds good. I don't really pay attention to lyrics much.
I've
Um,
never thought about that actually,
I'm pretty sure the song's about
but
drugs.
now that you mention it, I'm gonna listen to it with a new pair of ears for sure.
Yeah. And then my second favorite on this one, only kind of recently became one of my favorites of theirs, In This Time, the soft, beautiful, slow song on there.
Yeah, it's sweet.
I covered it for the Tea Party cover contest, and maybe I'll put like a link to my video or something somewhere in here in the video so I can link off and plug my video cover of it. I did
Oh,
not
and
win the contest, but I had fun just making a cover of that song.
yeah, and then here's when I say you can put my Psychopomp cover right here or
Yeah.
there, wherever you want.
All right, yeah, I'll put both of our Tea Party covers in, and it was pretty fun. I like making covers sometimes. I don't have a lot of time, but when I do have time, I like to play music, and it was fun to make that cover. I was looking for which of their songs should I cover, and I knew that I was just going to be making it by myself, and I'm like, I'm not really a drummer. I don't play drums, so I kind of need something that's like chill and just do like a soft song, something that I can't really sing like the heavy kind of rocking songs that he does. But if
Right.
it's more of like a chill, soft song, I can sing it and it might sound all right. So that was kind of why I picked that song. But then I started listening to it more, and I actually really like it. It's just a beautiful song.
Yeah, totally. It's big for weddings apparently.
right, top two.
Top two, hey?
You're number two.
I think we're gonna have the same number one.
We might. I don't know.
Yeah. Damn, dude. I'm still, again, like these past four are all equal to me. Um, well, yeah, okay. Number two, Triptych.
Cool. Yeah.
Also could have been number one. Could have been. Could be. Look, it's all signed up. Man, yeah, this song is the one. I mean, sorry, this album is the one that has the songs that got me into the Tea Party. Probably their biggest commercial successful album is this one.
Oh yeah.
It's got Heaven's Coming Down on it. It's got The Messenger, and I'm talking about the radio. This is the most radio-friendly
radio
album.
Okay.
Yeah. The sound design is what I love on this one, because I don't want to talk too much about transmission, because I know we're going to talk a lot about transmission, but this one is like it's transmission's cousin. Like it starts off with touch and it's big fat bass, and then underground is, you really feel like you're in a cave when you listen to it. It had two of my least favorite songs, but that I ended up liking a lot, like Great Big Lie, and especially A Slight Attack. When I first heard A Slight Attack, I didn't get it. Like, this is like aggressively disorganized, and like it made me feel kind of gross. But the more I listened to it, the more I got into the craziness of it.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if you remember that one, but
I don't really remember it. And to me, like
it has like a 5/4 timing, and then
okay.
4/4. It's really really fun.
Yeah, none of that like phases me really after like some of the other stuff I've listened to. Like I've listened to so much chaotic music with like really spastic changes. So
oh yeah,
Party All
compared
sounds
to yeah,
Tea Party All sounds very like nicely structured to me when I compare it to that the kind of stuff, other things I've heard.
yeah. Fair.
Yeah, I could see.
I think I might be talking about the first time I heard it for sure, but I mean now, yeah, compared to what kind of music has been coming out. But Triptych is, yeah, I think my favorite ones. I mean, I love them all on this track. Of course, I want to say Heaven's Coming Down, but I won't, because, you know, that's the one everybody likes. You're Taking Me Away was my favorite. And then I put down Touch, because I just thought I love the guitar and bass and how muddy it is.
Did you say Taking Me Away was your favorite too? Yeah, that was mine too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and I had Heaven Coming Down.
Samsara is dope too. And The Messenger is a Daniel Lanois song, right?
Oh yeah.
The cover.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's a cover. Cool.
Yeah. And they covered him again in The Ocean at the End for the Maker, I think the song is called.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like The Messenger. And Heaven Coming Down, that was maybe like my third. It's just maybe too kind of simple of a, it's kind of too I guess like other songs maybe that I've heard. It's not as unique as a lot of other Tea Party songs.
No. But yeah. This is a beautiful album. I like the sound. It's got really nice balance on this one.
Cool.
It's not all dark. Yeah. Good.
Yeah, there's some brightness in there. Some nice acoustics, electric stuff, synthesizers. It's got everything really.
And the exotic instruments. Yeah, this is the.
Yeah.
We had said this is the combination of the previous albums.
I hope they make another full-length album one day. Like I don't know if they're gonna still be like a super active band. I know they made the Black River EP, but I hope they do like an LP and they go like all out crazy and do big sound design and synths and Middle Eastern instruments again. I would really love that. I'd be so pumped.
Yeah, totally.
It's been a while.
I believe.
So my second favorite is The Edges of Twilight.
Yeah.
1995, an amazing album. Um, I I honestly think like if I'm going to recommend to viewers of this video, if anybody's watching this video and they haven't heard the Tea Party, I might recommend they start with this one. That's kind of the one that I think is a good starter.
I agree. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's very rockin', has their Middle Eastern influences. Um, those shine through. My favorite song would be Correspondences.
Yeah, that was going to be one of my top, and it is. But yeah, oh yeah, the piano and the guitars and
Yeah, the
super
intro reminds me
chill.
of Pink Floyd. Yeah, with
Yeah,
that piano and guitar, and the way they like the upstroke the guitar chords,
yeah,
very
yeah,
like Pink Floyd. You know the song "Breathe" by Pink Floyd?
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Even the vocal phrasing of this song reminds me a lot of "Breathe" by Pink Floyd. That's probably, I'm guessing that's what inspired this song. And yeah, this song it dabbles in I think 7/4 time. They've got that occasional use of 7/4 when they do the "Does it tear you apart? Da-da-da,
Dun, dun,
my
dun,
love." Like
dun.
every now and then, like I think they alternate back and forth
Yeah,
between
you're right.
4/4 and 7/4. Like it kind of sounds like they skip a beat, and I actually love that sound. The kind of more proggy time signature changey sound.
Hmm.
There's amazing lead guitar too at the end, the melodic.
Yeah,
So yeah, just really good stuff. And then my second favorite song here would be Inanna. The,
yeah, you like that song, hey?
yeah, I really do. Middle Eastern vibe. Sounds like a sitar maybe at the beginning, or I think maybe it's like a sarod or something. The instrument.
Over the solid sea,
Yeah.
my love, into the solid sea. Meow,
And,
meow.
and also in Inanna, they do a similar thing that they do in Correspondences with this occasional use of 7/4. Um, they like swing back and forth between like 2/4/4 phrases, then a 7/4, then back to a couple 4/4 phrases. I'm pretty sure they do that in Anna, which is really cool. So yeah, I like that.
I'm listening to it in my head right now.
I
The
don't remember
ending's pretty
exactly
rocky.
where it happened, but I did note that I'm pretty sure I counted 7/4 in there at one point, which is cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
that's my second favorite. I guess we have the same number one after all.
Well, there's a great reason for it.
Yeah,
It's their most standout album, right? Like it's the most different one out of all of them.
yeah, there we go. Transmission from 1997.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty
This
awesome.
is a cocaine fueled, angry, 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 super creative album.
Is it literally cocaine fueled? Is that what they were on at the time?
That's what I heard.
Yeah, maybe. Could be. I wouldn't be surprised.
You probably don't want to,
I wouldn't recommend it.
but but yeah, produced and recorded by Jeff Martin. It says right here. Crazy, crazy, crazy album. Apparently, they had applied for grant to the government,
Right.
and they got turned away or shut down or something.
Oh, wow.
And they were just super like pissed off, and that's where a lot of the aggression came from on this album. Apparently, another special note: Stuart Chatwood actually painted the disc.
Oh yeah.
I think the painting's called "We Inherit the Earth" or something like that.
Sweet.
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about on this one. So I've said my little spiel. You go ahead, and I might have a little more to say.
Oh, what about your favorite songs on Transmission?
Probably Babylon,
Hmm.
because that is first time I heard that. And I know metal now, but at the time when I was listening to the Tea Party,
That might be their most metal song, honestly. I think.
yeah. And I used to not listen to that kind of music. When I heard this, I was like blown away because it's crazy metal crunchy guitar, and then the drums are like drum and bass, so
Hmm.
almost electronic sounding.
Yeah,
And then the big bass drop and the guitar that sounds like an alarm.
yeah. That's a super industrial sounding song too. Like
Yeah,
it could honestly be by Ramstein, I think.
yeah,
Like
totally. And
you
I
wouldn't be
recommend looking
surprised
up.
if it's like this is the German industrial metal band Ramstein. If you just had German singing over it, it would totally be them.
Yeah, I recommend looking up the music video to it
Oh yeah,
because it was all done in one shot in a warehouse. It's the one shot music video. There's a lot of stuff going on. Um,
cool. I have
Super
to
dope
look.
video. Yeah. Then my second one, honestly, I love them all for different reasons, but I was gonna say Embryo, which is a hidden track on the album.
Oh really? I don't even know. Embryo? I don't know
Yeah,
if I've heard that.
it's it's right at the end of Babylon.
Oh, at the end of Babylon. Huh.
Yeah,
I don't have it as it's not listed in my iTunes. Maybe I have to go find that.
it's actually so Babylon's only 250, but it's inside the same track. It's not a different track. It's just like
Is it like the 24 seconds before between transmission and Babylon? Or is it after?
just piano.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I don't actually know.
Like the is it that one?
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty cool. All
The
right.
last thing I had said was that this album is Jeff Martin just blowing his vocal cords apart, and it's awesome because
Yeah.
he really screams in some of these songs.
Yeah. Yeah, like Temptation, Psychopomp, Babylon.
Uh, Gyroscope, he's just ripping transmission. He's just screaming. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mhm.
There's a lot of freaking. You can really feel.
Must hurt, honestly.
Yeah, man.
I feel like it would hurt to sing all those
Like
songs.
this album is fire.
It is pretty awesome.
I guess fire is the only thing I could describe it to.
Sweet. Yeah, I really love this. I love how it's probably the most industrial out of all their albums, and it's not usually like a sound that I gravitate to. I wouldn't say I'm like a fan of the industrial sound, but they do it really well. So I really like when they do it. Lots of heavy guitars on here, lots of effects. There's catchy and accessible tracks like Temptation and Psychopomp, but they also still have like the Middle Eastern influence, and they still have like adventurous, weird sounds on here too. So it's got like a nice mix where you could see like, oh, some of this could be on the radio, and like other stuff's like, well, that's pretty out there. So it's a good mix of that. And my favorite song, I guess I'll say Psychopomp. Honestly, it has the most memories because we used to play that in our high school band, Mikey, and it's just a really nice song. I love that like dissonant intro riff, and I love how it builds up. Like it starts very just an acoustic guitar, and then it just like builds up to really heavy at the end, and like it starts with soft vocals, and by the end it's pretty much like really really powerful hard rock vocals at the end. And my second favorite would be Babylon, the one that you mentioned as well, your favorite. I love the synths at the beginning and that riff that could totally be a Rammstein song. Really powerful, heavy vocals. Yeah, just a really impressive song, really impressive album.
I used to love Emerald a lot as a teenager. Thought that was a sweet song. Release is dope too. Aftermath. Oh, I remember Aftermath. That is like spooky music. I remember that. I'm just kind of reliving the songs in my head right now. I've
Reliving
been
it.
looking at it.
Nice. Are you
Army Ants is about Brave New World. That's what Army
the
Ants is
book
about.
Brave New World, like the dystopian book?
Yeah,
Oh, cool. I read that book. It's neat. I got into like
yeah.
reading
I
dystopian
I
books.
spark noted it. I use spark notes on that
Cool.
one.
I use Spark Notes whenever I had to write like a book report on something, just to kind of get the condensed summary.
Yeah,
Gotta use it. But I did. I actually read that book
yeah.
full too because I liked. I actually started liking the dystopian stuff. You know, and the stuff that you have to read in like high school English. A lot of it's like really kind of boring. Like I was never big into Shakespeare. That's just annoying. No, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't really like reading that stuff. But when we started reading like the dystopian things like Clockwork Orange and I read like
Like
Animal Farm and Brave New World. I actually kind of like those books.
1984 and stuff like that.
Yeah, 1984, and even The Handmaid's Tale. Like I actually enjoy a lot of those books.
Oh,
Um,
that's cool.
cool.
It probably made high school much easier for you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the Shakespeare stuff. I was like, I could do without this, but those books, I was actually pretty into them. They were easy reads for me.
Hi. Okay, let's pop back to Tea Party here. Some
Yeah, Tea
closing.
Party.
I got some closing stories for you.
All right, yeah, story time, and then we could do like a top three songs overall too. Or do you want to do top three songs first and then story time?
Oh God! All right, let's try top three songs because it's gonna be a hard one. This
All
one's
right, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
we'll have to say, yeah, you go first. You go first.
Okay, I'm gonna go Psychopomp from Transmission, Correspondences from Edges of Twilight, and The River from Splendor Solace. That's my top three, but I can totally see those changing. I really love Babylon, and I kind of wanted to put it in there, but I kind of picked my favorite song from some of my favorite albums of theirs and made that my top three.
Yeah, those are wicked songs. They have what's nice about Tea Party is they have a lot of awesome songs.
Yeah.
Like they really do. A lot of them are really different.
Yeah, and
too.
I'll make a playlist too. I usually put a playlist link in my video descriptions where I'll put like our favorite song from each album, like your favorite and my favorite from each album in a playlist. And then if people want to check out the Tea Party and just like get a Reader's Digest, they can listen to that playlist.
Favorite songs? Yeah, well, I'll have to. My goodness, Dreams of Reason, third. Taking Me Away, second,
Oh, yeah, that one's awesome too.
and I haven't mentioned this on purpose, and I know it's their big radio hit, but Heaven's Coming Down for me, being the first song that really opened my eyes to the fact that there's different music other than the Backstreet Boys out there, because I was 7 when this came out. That's a big one, so I'll have to go with that.
Sweet. Yeah, it's always good to when you discover stuff that's like not pop music. I guess for me, my journey with music was pretty much pop, and then maybe like grade 5 or so is when I started discovering like punk rock, but it was still like pop punk, like Blink 182 and Sum 41 and that kind of stuff was just starting up around then.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool, and like Green Day, and then like grade 7 there would be like Avril Lavigne and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Still pop, but it's like pop punk, and then that kind of led me more towards like rock and metal after that.
Totally. Like your buddy's Protest the Hero.
Yeah, Protest the Hero. System of a Down was like my first metal band that I really got into, and then
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
and Protest the Hero after that. Super awesome stuff.
Yeah, I got a couple stories for you.
All right, yeah, let's do Tea Party story time.
I've met Jeff Martin in Vic, and I kind of heckled him and yelled, "Where's Stuart Chatwood?"
Yeah.
when he was just doing his solo show. And then I got to meet him. He signed all my CD booklet. And then I was like, uh, I don't know, I was just kind of like, man, I miss the band. And he's like, so do I. And then 2 months later, they got back together.
Amazing. Maybe you talked him into it.
It That was a very condensed version of the story. This one, okay. So I bought tickets to the Commodore Ballroom in Vancouver to go see their reformation tour,
Mhm.
and I was I showed up so early. I showed up like 5 hours early to stand in the line. So I was the first in line.
Nice.
I I can hear them doing their sound check through like the open door. So I already heard the concert before I heard the concert.
So they played the whole set?
Not the whole thing, but I heard a
A
lot
lot.
of their songs.
Okay.
So I was sitting there feeling all giddy, smoking cigarettes. I was like, oh my god! And then, yeah, as the opening time came, the line just got huge. It was like 3 city blocks. No, maybe not. One, two. I
Wow.
don't know what. But I was the first one in,
Nice.
and then I got to be front center. Amazing show. And then at the end of the night, I had all my sleeves for the CDs in my pocket. I had a big black jacket,
Yeah.
and then I was determined to find them so I can get them to sign it. And I
Right.
was looking around, and then I saw a door off to the side with a bouncer, and with like 3 or 4 girls, like a prospective girls just standing there waiting to get in, and I'm like, that's VIP right there. So I walk over to VIP. He lets all the girls in, and then he looks at me, short hair, uh, young guy, big black jacket. And he's like, can I help you? And I'm like, well, I'm hoping they could finish signing my collection. And I pull out all my sleeves. And then he's like, I didn't know that this would work or not. But he's like, kind of pauses and he's like, all right, come on in. Opens the door. There's like 20, 30 people in this room. I got into VIP.
Nice.
And fucking Jeff Burrows, the drummer, sitting on the couch, chatting. I saw Jeff Martin over there, like, eating some cheese. And Stuart Chatwood walked past me. And I told him, I was like, oh, great work on Prince of Persia. And he's like, oh, holy crap. How'd you know that? So I made him sign my Prince of Persia sleeve, and he signed everything. Um, so he was nice. So I was sitting with Jeff Burrows, and he's super talkative and like very friendly. And I asked him if he wanted to smoke weed. He said, no thanks. I only do coke. But he was joking because my eyes went big. And I'm like, what? And then I met Jeff Martin, which is kind of interesting because I've met him maybe 4 times now. And I don't know, he kind of looks through you. But with a guy who writes intense music like that, I wouldn't expect any less, you know?
Yeah.
And then
Like,
that's my,
if you're coming up to them as a fan, it's also hard. It's like hard
yeah,
to like really kind of like bond and grow with you too.
yeah, I bet. Yeah. Especially that I probably did look starstruck because I couldn't even believe I made it to VIP.
Yeah.
And then my last story is Jeff Martin came to Courtney, BC, which is a tiny town. And then there's a part of the song in the bazaar where he says, tell my lover come back to me. You know that?
Yep.
And usually at live shows, they'll stop the music and then the whole crowd yells, back to me.
Oh, my lover, come back to me.
And I was the only person in the bar who probably knew that song or that music because everybody else in Courtney had no idea. And so he came to that part and he was like, tell my lover. And then I screamed, come back to me. And I was the only person in the bar who yelled. He kind of like did a little smirk because he just realized he's playing for people who don't know him and he has one huge fan over there.
That's neat. So like, It was just like a bar, and a lot of like non-Tea Party fans were there, I guess. Just like
Yeah, it was a tiny bar in a tiny town. Yeah,
cool. That'd be neat to see them in like a small venue like that. Cool.
yeah. Well, it was just him, but I think when it's all of them, they do bigger shows. So
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
but that's it. Those are my stories.
Those are awesome stories. Thanks for chatting Tea Party with me.
Yeah, thanks
People
for
watching
inviting me for
find some
doing that.
new. Hope people watching find some new recommended music to check out, and they can listen to the playlist that I put in the description and all the background music I put in the video. Yeah, thanks so much.